amazing, given the fact that he has this diabetes, his hand is shaking, and due to, again, diabetes, his eyesight couldn't see as clear. He still can overcome it. He used his mind. It's his mind that is in control of the body, and not so much that the body will control him. He can just say that, okay, now I have 1,000 over disciples. I can don't do all these things. But he has this because there are people who actually appreciate, who love his calligraphy. Okay? So that's what she did, was that just live life with it. You have to live with your old age. And do not complain and pity. Just make full use of whatever time you still have. So now, we're moving on to the next one. Again, talking about realizing one in its nature. And this is interesting. On fire. So what happened was that this Tongshan, right? One day he called up this Chan Master Tongshan. He called up to this Shan Feng. He said, "Fire, fire!" Imagine when you hear fire, the first thing you try to run out of place here. And then San Feng replied, said, "No, the fire is very far off." So the master summoned him and said, "Acharya." San Feng responded, "Yes." So the master said, "So it's not far off." What does that mean? The very first time I read about this Gong, I was like, hey, what is this trying to say? I don't understand. And again, we cannot look at it just by the surface, what is going on, the conversation between the two of them. So let's see the comparison. Probably we can understand better. When Tongshan, he called out fire, what it means that living for a long period in the three realms of transmigration, just like living in a house on fire, enduring that detention and bearing that long suffering. So that is what he meant by fire. However, when this Shan Feng, who replied him, said the fire is far off, he is what? He is replying in response to the word, the very surface value of the word, but not the deeper meaning which Tongshan is trying to say. So he is just rushing wildly after the words. He is taking it at face value. No, that's why it's just like what we say in Chinese, like 鸡同鸭讲, the chicken talking to the duck. So there's no communication. Actually, there's no actual communication between the two of them. Or what we always used to say, wrong channel. So both of them in the wrong channel. One is FM and one is AM channel. So the next one, when the master called him Acharya in, so this again is talking about is to call him out of the three realms. This has the meaning of like teacher, okay? And again, like what he did last time, he just treated it as what? As surface value. So he just said yes. So if so, what the master said that so it's not far off. He realized that communication breakdown. There's no way he can communicate with his disciples because he burns up fiercely, and therefore he said so it's not far off. He don't get the message. We can always refer this back to the Lotus Sutra. So maybe some of you ever heard about this Lotus Sutra. There's a particular parable called the parables of the burning house. So this is the burning house parable in the Lotus Sutra where the fire is. What does this mean? Okay, within these parables of the burning house, just for some of them who don't know about this Lotus Sutra, there's this particular old house which is large, old, decaying, rotten, and then you see all these things. And then with even creatures, what kind of, a lot of creatures that are inside there. So it's a very dangerous place for a person to stay there. And what does this parables is trying to say is that it's similar to the 3-4 realms or the 3-4 worlds that we are staying. So there are basically 3. One is the desire, and then another one is form, and the last one is formless. So let's see what is this. So this is the desire realm, which right now, where we are, all the human beings, is about the beings with desire for sex, for affections, for form, for body, etc. And it is from the lowest realm of hell to the 6th heavenly realm. So human beings falls into one of these 6 realms. And in the form realms, which is much higher up, it has is free from desire for sex, affection, food, but still attached to the form. And the next one is from the first dhyana, heaven to the ultimate form heaven. This is kind of, well, you can actually reach that stage if you go through the meditative practice, okay? And then the next one is the formless realm, beings with feelings, perception, volitions, and consciousness, however without form. And then the 4 formless heaven. So this is a very rough idea what the 3-4 realms is all about. So this fire itself is not enough just simply to put out a fire. But I'm explaining through the context of the Lotus Sutra. Now, the Lotus Sutra talks about the 3 vehicles. Okay, one of these the Sravaka's vehicles, which is talking about extinction practiced by the Arahant, is but get out of fire. Basically, the Lotus Sutra idea is talking about the Ikayana, talking about the 1 vehicles. So here it talking about the defilements. That means fire is related to our defilements, like birth, death, old age, sickness, and all kinds of things, suffering, stupidity, misunderstanding, and other 3 poisons. So, of course, the house itself, within this house itself, this burning house, it has this kind of various form of escapisms, prevent us from confronting reality of danger. So within this burning house, we find some fun, we can enjoy whatever. And because of this kind of enjoyment, we didn't realize the danger of this place. So you see, what do you call that? In Singapore we have one, but a real huge big one.
Fire.
No, the one that we have. Universal Studio. Okay. And then various form of escapisms preventing us from confronting realities of danger. And of course, you have this kind of sensual pursuit. So, what you want, give me more Fridays. That's where, okay, you have your weekends. You don't need to work on weekends, so give me more Friday. But that's not possible. However, we have this kind of idea, wrong concept. We hope for what? Long holidays. We hope to have fun and all kinds of materialistic and sensual pursuits. So our way of life. For most people, okay, maybe not, I'm not sure about you all, but they go through this kind of life. Okay. So go through life in a mechanical and passive manner. Because I was brought up in this way, so I just follow. My life was somehow planned. You just follow. That's what people do. So that I do it the same way. So like a passenger on a lifelong speeding roller coaster going up and down, and round, assuming that not only the tread but also the tension and stress experienced while circling on it are an inevitable part of the never-ending life. So we thought that we are unable to change the situations that we are in. We thought that this is our way of life. So every day I wake up in the morning, I go to the office, and then I come back home. If not, after work I go, I have fun, then I come back home. So it's something very routine. Day after day, we don't even find that it's anything wrong because everybody is like that. So I'm also living a life in this manner, just going, through like the roller coaster. So you just go round and round, going round and round. I remember when I ever had a bookmark, a small little bookmark with a very interesting wording. It says something like that. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it leads you nowhere. So you keep on, you start worrying about it, worrying about children, okay, PSLE, O level, A level. When he reached university, you start worrying about him. And after university, you worry about whether he's going to enter into a marriage, and then whether he's going to get a good career, and then whether he has kids, whether he get a house, whether he get a COE, and that kind of things. So you keep yourself very busy. But it leads you nowhere. Because no matter how much you worry for your child, he has to do it by himself. You can't do it on his behalf. I don't know. Maybe you can buy him a certificate. Okay? You can buy him a car. But then you cannot live his life. He has to live his life himself. He has to make himself happy. There's no way you can make him happy. So worrying is like a rocking chair. You keep on worrying about your child. So I say, no. My child is still under 21 years old. So I'm not going overseas. I have to stay with him or her. I make sure she's with me or he's with me, then I can go out. If not, then if I'm going overseas for a tour, I must make sure I bring my child along. So we give an excuse for our attachment. Is it really that the child or the children want to attach to us, or that we are attaching to them? I don't know. Maybe for kids who is 12 years and below, I can understand that. But when the child is getting older, he or she is also going to be independent. And we ourselves, how are we going to be independent too? We have to learn to be an independent parent. Okay? If you are able to learn to be an independent parent, then you are able to bring up an independent child. So who is the one who is dependent? Sometimes it's not clear-cut. So experience of one's life, despite its pleasures, can be very depressing. Just drinking ourselves into the oblivion of each night, or seeking constant entertainment and distraction by having music, television on all times, or incessantly playing computer games so that we never have to think about life. It's not going to eliminate the problem. Once I asked a relative about, he has a maid in Indonesia, quite maybe a rural area whereby there's no way you can find Wi-Fi over there. There's no way you can find internet over there. So I was talking to this particular relative that, hey, why not, you can bring your son, the whole family, and go to this maid house and stay there. Because I think this is very good for the children, this is very educational. Let them know that life is not a bed of roses. There are also other people outside who is, having a hard time, And probably that is a good way to educate them, to let them see it, feel it themselves, than to keep on showing them in movies or whatever, telling, they are suffering, whatever. But unexpectedly, my brother and the relative, they all say that, no way. Why? They say that, I'm not going to live a life without the internet. I'm not going to live a life without Wi-Fi. So they all decided not to go. So the whole relative, the whole groups of them decided not to go to this maid house to stay. It's not that we decided that, when I asked them, say that, but this is very good training for the child. Say, but that's not good for me. I'm not going to get used to this kind of lifestyle. So, despite knowing that this world is imperfect, they decided not to face it, not to see it. Okay? So we must take ourselves seriously. This means to respect for ourselves as human beings. We are not just pieces of machinery or helpless passengers. On the fixed right drive that sometimes smooth, but all too often not. The quality of our life is the direct result of our own attitudes and the behavior we have generated, not anyone else. So no one actually stopped us from living this roller coaster. We decided to stay there. So we have this kind of our six senses. We like to grasp for excitement. So we like this kind of excitement. Not only the real roller coaster, but life. Sometimes, yes, we may say that, okay, I don't want to have any kind of sufferings and whatever. However, once the suffering period ends, we can be very forgetful. We forget that period of suffering that we have gone through. And then after that, we decide, never mind, life just go on. And then after some moment in life, you encounter with some kind of suffering again, then you endure it a bit, then you forget, and then you move on. So, we tend to be very forgetful. We decided to keep on going through this roller coaster, moving up and down. So now, so much for this fire, and then look around us. What kind of fires that we are facing? Okay, we may be like fire, not necessarily like something that is unhappy. We may think that fire means that I don't have a happy family, my kids misbehave, I don't have a good boss, then you think that, I must get out of this fire. Even when you are having a happy family, when your kids really performing well and they are very filial, there is still fire. That's that kind of fire. The fire of attachment. Because whatever happy is not going to be permanent. And when this kind of happiness ends, that's where the suffering starts. When lovely families start to break down, someone passed away, and then you can feel that kind of pain. And you start to feel that, okay, this is not going to last. So something that we need to consider what we meant by fire. Fire not only meant something that's not good. I remember a friend in the Buddhist college. She told me that they actually has a very good family. Her parents are loving couples, and her relationship with her siblings are all very good. And precisely, they are so happy. One day the mother was sick and sent to the hospitals. However, without realizing that she is allergic to certain kind of medication, the doctor gave him one shot, and that's it. She left. So the family to them is very shocking. None of them can accept it, you know. And then later on, even this particular classmate, she was diagnosed with cancer, and then she go for operation. And then her brother also diagnosed with cancer and whatever. So it's like family, all these things happen in family. A family which is all this while being very happy, very loving, you know, everybody is having very good relationship with each other. It won't last forever. So if we are unable to see the fire that is over there, the smaller the fire is going to ignite and become a bigger fire. If you don't realize it now, it's just a matter of time. We still have to face it. We will still have to, you know, maybe somehow we may even get hurt by the fire. Okay, next point, the next Gong'an that I'm going to share with you is about rubbing the tongue. Okay, so what happened was that this Ma Zhu, okay, one day Ma Zhu Daoyi, he went to study under the Chan master Nan Yue Huai. At those period of time, some of the monks, they will move around, they go to temples and learn from other eminent monks. So Ma Zhu went to Master Nan Yue Huai, and he was really determined. He was really determined to make sure that he will become enlightened. So he is very diligent in his practice, always sitting there, you know, with his eyes closed, meditating, and he hoped that, oh, one day I can become enlightened. So one day while he was sitting in the spot, Master Huai took a towel and sat on the rock facing him and started rubbing. So you hear the sound, and I'm trying to rub and then create calm noise. And we know that when we are meditating, we don't like people creating a lot of noise and sound. Even when I'm talking here, I also don't like to listen to sounds downstairs. So the kind of distractions going on, and then, you know, hey, I'm working real hard for enlightenment. How come this guy over here, you know, my master, he's creating so much noise? So Ma Zhu asked, hey, what are you doing? I'm rubbing the towel to make it a mirror. Then Ma Zhu said, how can you make a mirror by rubbing a towel? It's not the right thing, you know. No matter how hard you do it, it's not of a mirror quality. You cannot create it into a mirror. So Master Huai said, if I can't make a mirror by rubbing a towel, how can you achieve Buddhahood by sitting in one? This is interesting. So let's see over here. This is a picture seen. I must at least show you one of the Chan art. Right? What is this? A frog, right? Very cute. Just a few strokes, and then this is a frog. And then this frog was drawn by Xian Ya Yi Fan. So just a few strokes, he has this particular frog. Now what's the frog mean then? Meditating, right? If I don't put the word meditating, you may think that just a frog. But what he is trying to convey, this particular frog is trying to meditate there. So now, the frog is also meditating. So this image is both an affectionate and evocation of physical activities of sitting meditation. It's a kind of witty way of, you know, trying to express something like what I'm saying about Ma Zhu. So becoming attached to the act of sitting, as if this will cause or lead to enlightenment. So you imagine Ma Maju is sitting here, then the frog also sitting there. So is the frog going to gain enlightenment, given that he sits as long as Maju? If Maju sits so long, and the frog also sits so long, and if Maju can gain enlightenment, so does the frog. So what happened was just now the previous photo, he is trying to be a bit sarcastic, I would say, trying to say that, hey, these people try to sit there. That was what happened at that time in Japan, whereby a lot of people are very enthusiastic, interested about sitting meditation and trying to gain enlightenment. So he used this kind of drawings to actually remind his fellow monks about just by sitting doesn't necessarily lead to enlightenment. So what should we do? When we sit, we shouldn't sit with expectations or desires. Only then does the goal of enlightenment happen. Okay, share an example of what happened to me when I was in the meditation hall last year. I went to the meditation hall in Poblacion, Taiwan last year. I was there for a year. And, like any of those people, the frog there, okay? So try so hard sitting on there. So there was one day I was really, I was what we call one of the, I don't know what you call it in English, but in Chinese it's called Jian Xiang. So I'm supposed to help, to supervise the other people who are doing the meditation. And of course, in between, I will have time to sit, okay, to meditate. However, because I cannot have to move around, whatever, my mind is not totally settled down. So I was sitting, and then I was like, having a lot of thoughts coming in, and then I was like, hey, and tell myself, this time around, I'm not going to be able to sit well to really calm my mind down because I'm so busy. So I'm having this thought. And because of I don't have the intention of actually hoping for something, there's been expectation of sitting well and then go deep into meditation. I just don't bother. I think I don't even properly, really make sure that all my sitting posture is correct, perfectly correct. Just sit there. It's amazing. Just a short period of time, then I can really get myself really calm down. Okay, so that particular experience that I went through, it really made me realize and feel what it was meant by trying not to have any expectation. There was not only one. There are actually a few times that I have this kind of feelings whereby when I thought that today I'm not going to be able to calm my mind and have a good sitting meditation session, and that day actually I sit better than any other day. And when the days whereby I'm thinking I'm going to do well, usually I don't. I ended up having like maybe my leg aching or not. I don't know how to say, but I didn't really get to calm my mind. So once I get attachment to hope for something, to hope for that kind of experience and feelings, usually I don't get it. And when I just let go, I don't bother, I just sit and I have a better kind of sitting experience. So in daily life, we have to put in effort, of course. You have to work hard. I hope that wouldn't stop our young students over here from not studying, okay? So I hope I'll be exempted for that. I didn't say that, parents, okay? So you make sure you still work hard and study. And then, however, whether the result turns out as what we expect, we must be ready to accept them gracefully. That's what I always tell people. We must learn to accept them gracefully. It's difficult. With so many things out there in these societies, especially in Singapore, whereby we are well known for being kiasu, kiasi, and the last K. I heard there are 3K. I can't remember. All scared of wine. Okay, so, you know that they're only applicable to men, right? So the ladies are exempted. So, with so much of that kind of environment that is creating that kind of atmosphere, we really worry about that. It seems like it's so difficult to lose. It's so difficult to not to be kiasu. You have to be kiasu. And so we are always exposed to things like how to be successful. Like a lot of things. You got your model answer. I remember when I was then back in school, we have this 101 model answer. I don't know now whether it's 1001. Okay, something like that. You make sure that you study that one hard, you can pass your PSLE, O level, A level, whatever. However, hardly there's people who tell us how to accept failure gracefully. I don't think there will be a management course or seminar on this. First of all, there won't be any lecturers on this. Secondly, there won't be any student on that. However, this is a very realistic and practical issues in life. You imagine if, for example, like our NUS, NTU, it's like the seats are, there are so few spaces, so many people competing, going into the universities. I think they belongs to the top 100 universities in the world. So many people competing it. But then, if you couldn't get it, how will you feel? Nobody tells us how to accept failure gracefully. This is just as challenging as how to become successful. I don't know whether you ever think of this question or not. So to be just as challenging. That's why at least, I'm not sure about other culture, maybe you can enlighten me, but there's a Chinese saying goes, failure is the mother of success. Is there such thing?
I don't know any
Okay. Yeah. So at least there's this particular saying, failure is the mother of success. So we know that we can learn from failure. So try to be able to accept failure gracefully. That's what we say, failure in itself is also not permanent. It is impermanent. Its essence is not permanent, so it can change. We can change for the better. So that's the idea about trying to, accept this kind of thing. I don't know, I'm still working on this part, how to accept failure gracefully. It's going to be a long time of work. So the very last one for today, Buddha nature, because at least I hope they can bring this back. Okay, one day Zhao was asked by a monk, does a dog also have Buddha nature or not? So the master said it has. The monk replied, if it does, why did it enter this bag of flesh? So it's interesting. If this particular dog has Buddha nature, then why he was reborn into the three unwholesome realm? One of the unwholesome realm, of the animal realms, so it sounds contradictory. And the master replied, because it knows and yet transgress on purpose. It seems like he knows where he's going. He is actually able to decide where he wants to go. And then next, another one come over and ask, does a dog have Buddha nature? This time down, he answered no. All living beings have Buddha nature. Why does a dog not have it? So the master said, because it still has karmic consciousness. So this again is a kind of contradictory kind of answer from a Chan master. Is it right or is it wrong? It's just like just now the Kongan about feeling happy and feeling painful. At one moment you will say happy and another moment you will say painful. And now this particular monk is saying that there is Buddha nature and there isn't. So this is an explanation and interpretation by Zhu An, the Chan master Zhu An. He said that if you have doubt about has Buddha nature, you cannot but have doubt about doesn't have Buddha nature. This what it does means, you can forget about all those English words. All it means that if you have doubt about Buddha nature, of course you will also have doubt about don't have Buddha nature. The reason is that when you have this idea about Buddha nature, you already falls into duality. Just now what I mentioned earlier on, you got a little piece of marshmallow over here. The duality that Chongxing initially falls into me giving you the biscuit, and then why you return this biscuit to me. So once you have this idea of what Buddha nature is, you tend to have this kind of duality set into your mind. And likewise for the second sentence, it has the same meaning. So, Chan Buddhism daily practice. What my master, he always like to tell people, for those of you who have taken the three refuge, you may have heard, if you have took them in for Guangshan, even in Singapore, he will always like to say this word and encourage everybody to say together with him and declare that I am a Buddha. So why he say that, it's not that he's being arrogant or he wants you to be arrogant. What he's trying to say that we have to be able to recognize our Buddha nature. You must first be able to recognize your Buddha nature, and then you start to commit yourself to being a good person. He always used the example to say that if you admit that you are Buddha, will you take a cigarette and smoke in front of the public? No. If you are a Buddha, you will not want to kill. If you are a Buddha, you will not want to steal, and you won't want to lie, or this. So, by first of all recognizing I have this Buddha nature, that means I have this Buddha nature of being a good person. I will do good deeds. I will speak good words, and I have good thoughts. So that is how we can put this thing into our daily practice. You may not be good at Gong An. It's okay. After all these 9 Gong Ans that I have mentioned, even if you don't really understand all the 9, if you can understand what Master Xu said, I am a Buddha, then congratulations, you have understand this particular Dharma talk. So it is also a commitment to being a good person. Every time when people ask me, should I take up the 5 precepts or whatever, I say that you don't need to think so sophisticatedly. Just think it very simply that what I meant by taking up 5 precepts is just that I am declaring to the world that today on, I'm going to be a good person. As simple as that. So if you start to count how many precepts, then it's difficult. It's just like in the sutra, there's a particular monk who approached the Buddha. He said that, I'm not going to be a monk. He said, why? Because the monk, we have to observe so many precepts and rules. I'm not going to. Too many for me. I don't want. So the Buddha told him, said, what about just having one? He said, oh, only 1 precept? Okay, good. No problem. I will want to accept that challenge. He said, oh, this is easy. You just to be a good person. Oh, great, easy. So he decided to stay on and become a monk. Likewise, if you think too much about all the details of the 5 precepts, and because of that, you try to be doubtful about yourself and are willing to take up this very good opportunity to be a good person, then maybe you should think it this other way. It's very simple. Just declaring yourself to become a good person. So now, chant Buddhism in daily practice. When we are able to see our Buddha nature, we need not hope for recognition. I found these comics here very cute. You know what is this? Maybe not very clear from behind. This is a dog. This is a duck. This is a cat. This is a fish. This is a bird. A pig. And this is a bird. And what is it? They are just barking, like a dog. Woo, 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 woo. So, because of that, it actually made him feel very ego. And then he was very happy. So he said, okay, everybody gets a raise. So, do you need that kind of recognition? That everybody speak your languages, speak your words? No. We can be ourselves without all these people speaking all these words. We don't need people, what we always say in Singapore, curry flavor. We don't need all these things. So any desire for recognition is a kind of suffering because you're waiting for people barking, okay, to be of the same as us. So this is for Chan Buddhism in daily practice. Okay, these are the references. Now, before I end this, you saw the piece of white paper, not the survey form again. Not the survey form again. We started off with drawings like just yesterday. So we draw about we draw about what is chant. Right? Now, after attending two lessons, 2 talks, same question: how are you going to draw? You remember the advertisement? I don't know whether you all still remember the advertisement before and after. A lady going to a slimming center with a lot of weight, and then after that, coming out the slimming center, become very slim and pretty. Now let's see, after 2 Dharma talks, we all become very slim and handsome and pretty. What is chant? For those who are not with me yesterday, just don't think so much. Be spontaneous. Don't look at your neighbors. I saw something very interesting. I thought it's supposed to be a picture. Yeah. We are supposed to draw what is chant, not write what is chant. Because our topic over here today is chant chant heart and chant heart. Almost done? Okay, remember the game that we used to play? Pass it to the one on your right. Until it goes down for your row of tables. Make sure you take a look at your friend's hard work, okay? And show your appreciation of how much he or she draw. Yeah, just go around your particular row of table that will go. Okay, have you seen everyone's art pieces? Okay, done? Now, yesterday I didn't ask people from the back row. So, to be fair, let's start. Okay. Yeah, the man over here. Can you explain the one next to you? Her work. Your microphone. So that everyone can hear you.
He's drawing the heart, good heart. Okay. I believe what from his mind is that everything is from what a human being 唯心所造. Chant is something that you must have a good personality and everything comes from the heart. This is what I said for the teacher.
Okay, thank you. So, you want to explain why you draw this?
Not so complicated. Just live every day, try to be a kind and nice person.
Okay, thank you. So, the lady here, can you explain your neighbor's drawing? No, hers. Yeah, you explain your neighbor's one, not yours. Yes, hers, you explain her piece. And what do you think? Yes. Yeah. What you may first say what kind of picture is there, and then why you think that she's trying to explain that it's chant.
I don't understand the person.
Never mind, you just try. There's no so-called unique answer. No. Just let her try to interpret your art.
She feels happy.
Happy, but what is that particular
It's a
thing?
rabbit.
It's a rabbit?
Right.
Okay.
It's cute and happy.
Okay, thank you. So, may you explain what's that? Why you think that is the explain charm? Sorry? Every day must be happy. Okay, thank you. So, jumping around. So,